All right, welcome to my shootout on the rear tires I've used on my 26-inch dirt jumper bikes. I have 4 bikes set up right now, all with different tires. There are a few other tires I will mention as far as how they ride in comparison to these and what I've found. Obviously, depending on where you live and the kind of surfaces you ride, your preferences are going to be somewhat different. These tires are definitely hard pack, dirt, asphalt, cement, street. With the exception of the Halo twin rail, it has a little bit more tread. None of these are going to work very good on mud. They'll work okay on a hard pack trail system that has a little bit of moisture. It's kind of, gotten that dust a little bit moist where you get that perfect traction. But anytime you go through a puddle or a spot before a jump that has that greasy mud and it's gotten wet and it's more than just a millimeter or 2 deep, pretty much all these tires are going to suffer to some degree. But on anything else, these tires are going to work really well. Just keep them out of really loose gravel, really loose dirt or mud, or any sort of greasy, wet jump line or trail. So I'm going to have measurements and weights on all these in the comments as well, so you'll be able to compare them that way. But I'll just start. I'm going to give you my impression of them, and then I'll give you at the end of the video what I think they do or don't do well compared to a maxxis Holy Roller or a Kenda K-Rad. I do run DTHs on the front, so I can also, and I've ran them on the rear, so I'll give a little bit of feedback on that as well. But these are tires that a lot of people don't run. They're not common as the DTHs or the Holy Roller, so it's harder to find reviews on them. So hopefully this will kind of help you decide what your next tire is going to be if you can't find anybody near you that's running them. So we're going to start with the Tioga factory FS100. This is a 26 by 2.1. It's fairly wide for a 2.1. It's 120 TPI thread count, so you can run this tire really hard. I think max pressure is 100 PSI. I usually run them about 75 or 80, and it's amazing. It does have a decent tread, so on a hard pack trail that's a little bit loose, you'll still be okay. And then if you get onto asphalt, it's nice because it's not only smooth, but you got these little micronobbies within the tread blocks. Gives you that just a little bit of relief to deal with moisture, unevenness, some dust. If there's some pine needles in the bottom of a skate bowl, something like that. So you still got some traction as opposed to just a plain old, center ridge, completely slick tire. My reviews on this tire is it's super fast. It's pretty quiet, like in a skate park where you can hear everything. On the dirt, it has good traction. Has a nice round profile. No sharpness to the edges, so you can roll it over quite a ways. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best skate park tires there are for a 26. It just seems to handle everything really well, and it's really reliable and really predictable. On the pump tracks, I would say it's definitely one of the best tires when it's completely dry, when it's dusty. Once it starts to get a little bit moist, the rubber compound does work really well. So it's a really good, slightly slippery tire. Or when the conditions are slippery. So I'd recommend that one for pretty much anything up until you get to a pretty moist asphalt, like a sealed asphalt, where it starts to get a little slippery. That one seems to depend on compound more than tread. So we'll move on to the next tire. This is the VeeTire Company Speedster. It's kind of a new version of what the intense micronobby was. The knobs are bigger, and the center ridge is perforated as opposed to solid. So it is going to give you a little more relief to deal with moisture, dust, pine needles, dirt, that kind of thing. Rubber compound feels really good, really sticky. I think they've done a good job of keeping the Intense tire, what made it such a good tire, intact, and they've actually improved it by making these channels deeper. It gives you more versatility, especially on a dirt jumper as opposed to a BMX or ramp bike or something where you only ride paved. Haven't got much time in on it yet. Unfortunately, I was in the middle of getting all this situated when I broke my collarbone and my ribs, so I'm looking forward to putting more time on that. Also 120 TPI tire, so you can put lots of air in there, rolls really fast. I won't know how long it lasts for a while. Evidently the Intense micronobby did wear out quickly, so I'm hoping this will not be the same case, either because the tread is a little deeper or because the rubber compound is different. But it does measure up nice, it feels good, it's smooth, it's quiet. Next tire is a Kenda Kniption. As weird as it is, I don't know where I got this one, but it has no markings on it. It doesn't say Kenda or Kniption anywhere on it in color. And the only place it says Kenda is on the very bottom in the inlay, right there. This is one of my favorite all-around tires. It doesn't have the depth of a maxxis Holy Roller or a K-Rad, but I honestly think it grabs just as well on dirt, as long as you don't have deeper dirt. It doesn't float like a Holy Roller does, which I'm not the only person that has had that problem. It doesn't have any deep tread to it, so again, it will never work as a mud tire or, where there's any greasy puddles in a jump line. It's going to get some slip. But I use this on my NS. That's my all-around bike. It's the bike I'll take absolutely anywhere. Dirt jump, skate park, street, wood ramps, anything. This one's worn in, and once it got into this actual rubber as opposed to from the finished edge, this tire grabs on everything. It's super round. The tread actually wraps all the way around the sidewall, so it's a really nice profile to it. The consistency on this brand and model of tire has been questionable for me. This one's amazing. I've had one that I didn't like. I couldn't get it to where it would grab on wet asphalt at all. But I didn't ride it long enough to get worn in like this, so that could be one of the problems with the Kenda Kniption. But as far as on dirt and hard pack, I would choose this over a Holy Roller or a K-Rad any day. It's much more predictable, it grabs just as well, and it's a faster feeling tire the rest of the time, so that would be my pick over that K-Rad or Holy Roller. So last tire I am going to talk about specifically that I use on the rear right now is this Halo Twin Rail 26. I had it on the front and I didn't like it. It's a fairly narrow tire. It's a 2.2, but it measures up narrow, plus it looks visibly narrow. And trying to feel comfortable with on the front, it might have been a mental issue because the tire actually works amazingly well, but I couldn't get past the way it looked. So I'm a little bit biased on a stupid reason for that being a front tire. On the rear, however, it's a pretty amazing tire. The rubber compound is really good. It's sticky. It has a really nice center tread, so it rolls really fast. Has the same micro knobs on the knobs. Lets it bite a little bit into asphalt or cement. It's a quiet tire. Has overlocking knobs down the side, so it rolls really fast and really smooth, but you have that ability to kind of grab. This, I would say, if you like a maxxis Holy Roller or a K-Rad, this is the closest thing to those tires that are not those tires. I wish it came in a wider configuration. I would love to run this as a front tire to match. I'm really happy with this tire as a rear. It is very quick, it is very fast. Like I said, the rubber compound seems to be really good, deals with moisture. The design deals with some loose dirt. You got a little bit of room to deal with some uneven dirt or a trail that's not quite fully packed yet. Probably one of my favorite tires for a rear or a bike that you're going to use on dirt chumps that aren't completely formed yet. I would say the DMR Moto, was it Moto, or not the Super Motor, but the new one, would probably be similar to this, but this tread spacing is a lot more opened up, so it does give you more versatility. So in comparing all these to obviously a Maxxis, Holy Roller, or a K-Rad, I've kind of made my opinion known. I would take pretty much any of the, well, I would take any of these over either one of those tires for the conditions I ride in. Dirt, cement, asphalt, and even a trail system that's not completely packed in yet. I think any one of these two tires are going to beat those even on that unpacked dirt. I think any one of these four are a better tire overall than those. Kenda Kniption, I'd really like this exact one. I don't know what to say about the design as a whole, because I had one I really didn't like and one that was kind of middle ground. So as far as these compared to a DTH, I would say wet performance, as far as wet asphalt or wet cement, wet skate park, I actually like these better. The rubber's about the same, but I like the way these roll over better onto a sidewall. They don't have that sharp shoulder that a DTH has. When I get to the front tires on these bikes, which will be a different review, I'll talk more about that. I've had problems with DTHs feeling squirmy when the PSI drops below 45, which doesn't happen often. But you know, you go out on a cold morning, or maybe you haven't checked your tires in a couple weeks and get a chance to go ride somewhere. I've had times when I haven't counted on a DTH as a rear tire because of that. I've had them slide. I am a bigger guy, I weigh 250 pounds and I'm 6'2". So I put a lot of pressure and a lot of weight into a rear tire because I ride kind of heavy on the rear end, use it a lot for pump tracks and stuff. So I won't run a DTH on the rear for personal reasons. I think it's an amazing tire. I run it on the front of two of my bikes. But as a rear tire, I would actually choose any one of these over that tire as well. So anyway, hopefully that helps you with some options that maybe you didn't know were out there, or you've never seen anybody actually use them. Again, I'll stand behind any one of these tires for my use, my conditions. I live in the Pacific Northwest, which might be different than yours. But with the exception of the Kenda Kniption, just because I've had strange results, any one of these tires are amazing rear tires, and I would choose them all over a DTH, a Holy Roller, or a K-Rad. I don't like any Schwalbe tires I've ever used. I know there's some people that really swear by them, and I know there's some people that really swear at them. I am definitely one of the people that swear at them. I have ridden Schwalbe tires on 5 different bikes, dirt jumpers, mountain bikes, everything. I tried their Big City, which should have had great traction, and it still didn't, and it's a heavy tire. So I don't like Schwalbes, so I didn't put any of those in the test because I don't ride them. I've ridden maxxis hooks worms, which are amazing traction for a park or a pump track, but they're really heavy. None of these tires are even close to that heavy. I've ridden a couple 20-inch inspired 26-inch tires. There's a tracker tire, can't remember who made it. Again, kind of the same thing with hookworm, amazing traction, sticky but really heavy. So anyway, I'll put the notes in the comments on the width of how these blow up for their size and also the weights. And if you want to hit me up with any questions, I can only give you my opinion on them, on what I like or don't like. But let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video.